Alright, so for the final project for 478, we have Phil's Adventure. This is a game that we have created. Phil is the name of the little box guy, and the premise is that it's a side-scroller type of game with obstacles. Here we have a hole and a platform, and the objective is to move Phil across the screen. So at the top level, we have the buttons controlling the game. We have audio output through the HPH out port on the Zybo board. They'll be going into these headphones, and I hope that you guys will be able to hear it once it starts playing. And finally, we have the HDMI port as part of the top level. This will display the video signal which we see on my monitor. So now I'm going to start talking about the functionality of the game. If we press button 1, first of all the audio starts. I hope you can hear that. And we see that Phil here goes to the right. If we press button 2, Phil goes to the left, and if we press button 3, we have a jump function. There's only one jump allowed at a time. You're not allowed to jump again until you've hit the platform. Now we're going to run across here. This is our hole. And if we fall in the hole, you lose a life. So we also have a life function implemented in this game. When your character Phil is white, he has all 3 of his lives. If he's blue, he has 2. If he's red, he has 1. Once we cross over this hole, we see the next obstacle. So here we have a little platform that we have to jump over, and no matter how hard you try to go into this platform, you have to go over it, right? So if you jump, you can see that we can also walk on this platform, and once we clear it, we can't go back to the left. Now, the next feature that we have in this game is a second level. Once you pass the far right of the screen, we get a different type of level. There's only 2 levels in this game. We've only implemented 2 levels well. And here again we see a similar type of level. And the nice thing about how these levels are programmed is that you can't go back, right? You must finish the level. So again, we clear the platform. And then a cool thing about here is that if we die here, we start level 2 again. And if we die one more time, we start from the beginning at level 1. So, as you can tell, it's a pretty well-functioning game. The last feature that we have is a reset button. If you press button 0, it resets the whole game. So as you can see, I already lost a life, and once again, it starts from the beginning. So a couple of issues we had with making the game and really getting it here is that the first and most obvious one, I think, is this weird little green box here. My lab partner likes to call it extendo block, and we think that the issue has something to do with the way that the platform extends beyond the V count. Again, it's not a huge issue since it's not functional, and we've talked to some TAs and Farah about it, and she said it's okay. It's a silly little issue that, won't make that much of a difference. The next thing that we had an issue with was the PLL. So we've used PLL to do the HDMI controller and audio codec separately, but we haven't tried to do the same thing, so it required us to mess with how PLLs work on the Zybo board specifically, and we ended up getting it working, but it took us a good amount of time. And finally, the last issue we had when we were doing the project is the actual movement of Phil. So VHDL is weird where that you can't redefine a certain signal that's being redefined somewhere else. So we had to use something like a trigger signal in some sense where the movement had to be remapped within the original process. So that was also another issue we had. But besides that, I think it was a pretty cool little thing. It works fairly well. with the exception of Extendo Block. Yeah, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed playing our game.